Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Nintendo's lost 75 million. And it's going to be kind of odd for me to say this, even though Samuel Tech Geek's little imagination says I'll say, oh, but Nintendo's doing great. I love Nintendo. Nintendo's the greatest company of all time. And completely ignoring my past videos and other stuff I said and just put words in my mouth, just like he did in that last conversation. Here's the thing. I pretty much suspect that Nintendo was going to have money losses for a couple of reasons. We were going to go mobile. I've always stated that. But as far as predictions, it has pretty much said what I was going. This is in line exactly to what I was saying for all ever since the 3DS was introduced. And the reason why I said it back then was one simple reason. Apple was going the wrong direction. The way wrong direction. They were focusing less on the iPod Touch, more on the iPhone, and they seemed to want to just get rid of all of their iPods. Bad idea, especially with the iPod Touch, and just have iPad and iPhone. And well, it wouldn't make any sense. And sales wise, it would destroy Apple. Well, not destroy them, but severely hurt them financially. Because Apple has one advantage that most Android devices have. And I know that there are some Android devices that are not phones, but Apple has a device that's handheld that can compete against the Nintendo market extremely well. And yeah, I'm talking about the iPod Touch. And could even devastate Nintendo. But they decided to ignore it and go for some little box that everybody was saying, oh, this is going to destroy Nintendo and all these other companies. No, the Apple TV wasn't. And thank God Steve Cook finally killed that goddamn thing. As soon as those iPod Touches got upgraded to a more standard thing, that's when I said, crap, this is going to hurt Nintendo. That. Because here's the truth, not everybody can afford smartphones and along with whatever payment bills that comes with it, no matter where. And then don't say, well, there's Sprint. Sprint's not everywhere, dude. It just isn't everywhere. Hell, I don't get Sprint where I'm at. All I have is AT&T and Verizon, and I can't afford either one of those two. And then you got fathers with kids. You know, kids. The same people that the hardcore gamer wants to pound on really fast and really badly. And fathers, it's like, oh, I got this new iPhone, but I can't share this around with the rest of my family. Oh, wife's got her own iPhone or her own Android or whatever, but the kids can't afford it. I mean, yeah, there probably are parents who can afford it all. iPhones for all their children, but they're also burning $20 bills in front of homeless and then beating the living shit out of them and laughing at them. But, here's an iPod Touch. Give that to your kid. It doesn't have the iPhone parts in it, but they can experience all the iOS there, and you can give them a cheap ass phone. And the kid wouldn't care. And that's the market that Apple abandoned for a while. Single people that can't afford fucking smartphones, or just kids whose family can't give them a fucking smartphone or an Apple phone, or just can't, burn $20 bills in front of homeless people. Of course, with the new iPod Touch, I find it a little disturbing that they gave it a dual A5 chip, and the new iPhone an A6 chip, which is a little depressing, but kind of underpowered. But there you go. That's Apple. I mean, the iPod Mini only has like what, an A5 chip in there. What? Yeah, I think the iPod Touch is more powerful than the iPad Mini. So with the revival of the iPod Touch and the iPod Mini, and now there's iDevices in all sizes, and with the option of with or without, uh, 3G connections going on, and the main reason why we're having that little problem is because the cell phone companies don't want to admit that, you know, that their cell phone connectability is going to be just another add-on for another way of people just to communicate with each other in a more cheaper way, but they don't want to admit to that, so they just jack up the prices, especially fucking AT&T. So until we can, slap on cell phone connectability and with, you know, at the with no add-on fees and all that other crap, um, we're not going to have every smartphone just replace the handhelds completely. And I know what the analysts are saying. They're saying like, no man, the iPad Mini is the death knell in the fucking handheld gaming. No, you know what was the death knell? The iPod Touch was their death knell. I just hope that this, and just as I've always stated, and I've always stated, and you can check all my past videos, that next generation, this will hopefully push Nintendo out of the handheld market. And as for the Wii U and the whole Nintendo predicting them selling 5.5 million, there's a good chance they may actually do that. A, Apple TV's dead. B, this is a new console generation, and there is a good chance that Microsoft may end up coming out with their new console next year. Why? Because Microsoft's got an ego problem, and they don't like being outshone. So they just may come out with a new Xbox by next year. And of course, the president of EA did say this, that Microsoft and Sony would be stupid to to let Nintendo just have 2 years alone. And the main reason why I think they could do this is that Nintendo did do it. They're selling a pretty damn good and powerful console for $300, which is a damn good price point for any gaming console, new or old. Yeah, their chat is completely fucked up, but it's still only $300. And for an extra 40, you can get a 32 gig flash drive on there. And with the connectability with expendable hard drives, USB 2.0, you can up to 3 terabytes. That's a good deal. That's a damn good fucking deal. And you get all their entertainment packages for free for just $300 fucking. Shit that Microsoft should have made free, like, I don't know, YouTube, Skype, Hulu, because you're already paying money to Hulu. Why are you paying more money for Hulu? Oh, so you can play it on your fucking Xbox. Yeah, that's fucking brilliant. My PlayStation 3 and soon the Wii U are going to have that shit for free, along with Amazon Instant Video. Basically, it's going to allow you to go in there for free, even though you still have to pay certain fees to certain people, but to those companies, not to Nintendo, like Microsoft's doing. You pay Hulu to have Hulu Plus, and then you pay Microsoft to have Hulu Plus on your Xbox, which is bullshit. And yeah, but it's only $19. $19 considered to free. I mean, this is like somebody buying a printer and then having to pay an extra $19 for the fucking software to the printer. And for a while, they actually did that, by the way, and it failed miserably. That's why printer drivers are now free. But yeah, Apple finally woke up, and the iPod Touches got refined, and sales for the 3DS, not shockingly to me, shrunk. And as for the PlayStation Vita, it's deader than a doornail. You do not come back from bad sales like that. I mean, seriously. PS Vita is just dead. It's suffering a worse fate than what the PSP went through. Jeez. And there was a while that suddenly PSP sales went up uh, when everybody was screaming that Nintendo was gone from the handheld, and when the 3DS was coming out, and all of a sudden PSP sales went up, and then all of a sudden PS sales dropped like a rock. I guess a whole bunch of people realized they bought PSPs. I said Nintendo would hold their own for a while, but they would have some financial problems, maybe. And it turns out I was kind of right. It was a little worse, mainly because I didn't see the new refined iPod Touches coming out. Nobody saw that coming. Was it devastating to Nintendo now? Not really. I mean, Nintendo in this generation's still holding pretty good. Sony, on the other hand, oh, Sony. With the sales of the PS3 Vita dropping even worse than the Nintendo DS, and them losing billions of dollars on the PS Vita, and more of their developers are going to iOS apps or even Nintendo DS apps. And by the way, Nintendo was doing bad on their sales, but when Super Mario 3D Land hit the market, yeah, that's when PS Vita really started hurting. And then now with the iPod touches out there, PS Vita just doesn't stand a chance anymore. It's just no way. And most people saying that you're better off just getting a regular iPad over an iPad Mini. I'm not joking. I've talked to most people out there, and they said that they're disappointed with the iPad Mini. That I don't think the iPad Mini is going to kill handheld gaming. It was mainly the iPod Touch that did that. But no, it's not really over for Nintendo. Their Wii U still has a damn good shot of making a good impact. And if it does, that could be troubling to both Microsoft and Sony. Because if they wait until 2015 and the Wii U, is still selling good, it will probably have a price drop to $200, which is going to be devastating to the other two consoles because then they're competing against a $200 console system, which will really hurt both of them. And Sony will not recover from that. Of course, Sony will not recover if they come up with another $600 console. Even though everybody else, including the sales analysts, are saying, but Sony will take over the entire market or destroy everything else. Yeah, yeah, yeah. How's that financial problem going out for Sony? Oh, they're not out of it yet, and their PS Vitas putting them more in debt. Yeah, yeah. And how's their smart TV selling? Like horse shit? Yeah, yeah. And Microsoft is now including their contract deal into other markets like Walmart and all that. And I'm fine with all of that, except there's just one problem. The Xbox 360 is really getting old, and its technology just isn't there anymore. Why do I want a 5-year-old system put under a contract with a new gaming console coming around the corner? Why do I want that? Why? Oh, that's right. Because we're gonna wait until 2015. We're gonna wait for 3 more fucking years before a new gaming console, and we're gonna just all be excited about it, and then fuck Nintendo up the ass and put them all out of business. And Sony and Microsoft are gonna make off like Magic Bandits. Yeah, that sounds like a great fucking plan. And in the meantime, PC sales are skyrocketing through the roof and beating console sales for the first time in a long time. Well, mainly because there is no new consoles. That's why PCs are selling like wildfire now, and PC gaming and Steam is having the highest profits they've ever had in their entire life. Why? Because the Xbox 360's graphics are so fucking old, it's unfucking believable. And newer games, and the newer and newer they are getting with the newer and newer engines, are starting to show on both the Xbox 360 and the PS3. Your frame rates are dropping to a point that games are going to be unplayable. By the time 215 or 214 hits, games, you're only going to be able to see 1 frame per second on a fucking game. And this bullshit about, oh, we're going to wait until the exact end of the gaming console and then we're going to start selling a new one. No, here's what this is what the consoles used to do. They would wait until 5 or 6 years and then they would make a new console. But then for the rest of the years, they would sell 2 different consoles until that second one, till their original console hit 10 years, and then it would drop out, and then they would keep selling the newer one. And that's what Nintendo's doing. They're going to still sell their Wii's. Hell, they did it with their Super NES and their NES and the Nintendo 64. GameCube, they kind of just dropped that one out because nobody was buying that. And PlayStation, well, they did it for PlayStation 1 and 2. And now they want to wait and and hope their PlayStation 3 is going to keep selling on and on and on, which it isn't. By the time that thing hits its 10-year mark, it's not going to sell anymore. I mean, I bet you right now that as soon as the PlayStation 4 comes out and it's at $300, people are going to rush and buy that more than they are going to go rush and buy the PlayStation 3 older models. In fact, the PlayStation 3 will probably drop out of the market right there. Well, that's all I have to say for now. See ya.